Hello and welcome to my crypto brief. It's a new channel, so if you like the video, please click the like button, and if you want to see more, please subscribe. It's been a green day in the markets. We have the FOMC meeting tomorrow. There's a lot of news regarding ETFs, and there was a new token launch. Once we get through the news, we'll have a look at some charts, look at some price targets, maybe have a look and see what happened over the last FOMC meetings, and have a look at the likelihood of an altcoin season happening. So let's jump in. So for our first story of the day, Bitcoin reclaims 94K ahead of tomorrow's Fed meeting. I believe it's pulled back a little since the article released, but we'll read on. While the rate cut itself is largely expected, which we know by looking at the Fed watch tool, we can see that the futures markets are predicting an 87.6% chance of the rate cut tomorrow, and Poly Market is predicting a 97% chance of a rate cut tomorrow. So the rate cut's largely priced in. While the rate cut itself is largely expected, traders are focused on forward guidance from Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. So traders will be looking at what else Jerome Powell has to say, if he's going to be expanding the balance sheet, if he's dovish, if he's hawkish, and the market will trade on that most likely. Crypto markets witnessed over $190 million in short position liquidations within a single hour as Bitcoin surged higher, forcing automatic closure of leveraged bets. So although the price move maybe wasn't that significant if you zoom out in the charts, the fact that it happened so quickly probably caused a lot of people to FOMO in. Crypto markets have shown increased volatility from heavy positioning on both sides, raising the likelihood of liquidation cascades when prices move sharply in either direction. I believe I read somewhere as well that there were a lot of long positions liquidated as well today, but obviously not as much. Next on the list is Blackrock filing for a staked Ethereum ETF, and with crypto regulators being more lenient, and assuming that the staking rewards will go to investors, this could motivate investors to put more money into the Ethereum ETF markets, pumping the price. So in other crypto ETF news, Bitwise launched a new ETF called the Bitwise 10. So the Bitwise 10 crypto index ETF, BitW, holds the following 10 digital assets: Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Chainlink Litecoin, Cardano, Avalanche, Sui, and Polkadot. It says the conversion makes BitW the first ETF by a major crypto asset manager to include Avalanche, Sui, and Polkadot. So Avalanche, Sui, and Polkadot are now starting to get exposed to the crypto ETF markets. If we continue reading, the fund offers exposure to crypto assets for financial advisors, as well as other smaller investors who are using funds from an IRA or retirement account, where their only choice is to use ETFs, said the CEO. So now another type of investor is getting access to these cryptocurrencies through the BitW ETF. Quite an unusual ETF product coming up next here. Nicholas Financial has filed with the SEC a proposal to launch an AfterDark Bitcoin ETF that would skip US trading hours. And the reason for that is that they've identified that Bitcoin seems to perform better outside of US trading hours. And their idea is to, at the closing of the markets, buy Bitcoin, and at the opening of the markets to sell Bitcoin, and pass that as a product on to their customers. So just before we look at the token launch, the CFTC launched a digital asset pilot allowing Bitcoin, Ethereum, and USDC to be used as collateral. And we continue reading. In practice, this could mean a registered firm accepting Bitcoin as collateral for a leveraged swap tied to commodities, while the CFTC monitors the operational risks and custody arrangements behind the scene. If Bitcoin and Ethereum and USDT are used as collateral, I guess that means they're locked up and there's less supply for the exchanges and things, and less supply can cause a supply shock and push prices up. So if this is widely adopted, I guess it's good news for the price. And we have a quote here from Coinbase's chief legal officer. This major unlock is precisely what the administration and Congress intended with the Genius Act to enable. So the token launch today was Midnight's Night token. It launched on Binance Alpha. I believe they were the first place where it was available. It says here, it's worth noting that a listing on Binance Alpha does not necessarily imply a spot or futures listing on Binance. And it says here there were several examples where a token launched on the platform, but ultimately Binance did not add support for them on the main exchange. Regardless if they don't have a futures or spot listing, though, it is available on the Binance platform. Meanwhile, the Glacier drop, which was designed to be a slow drop of tokens to eligible claimants, so that there's no huge dump on the market. It says here, meanwhile, the Glacier drop distribution event would take place the next day, with eligible claimants receiving 25% of their allocated tokens. I believe they get a random day between the first day and the 90th day for that drop. So only 1/90th, I guess, would be eligible to get their 25% the next day, if you're with me. The Midnight team would distribute the other 75% over 3 phases over the next 12 months. So we're taking this from the official Midnight Network website now. It says here that people eligible for the Glacier drop were self-custody holders of ADA Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, BNB, Avalanche, and BAT token. That was the phase 1 distribution. Phase 2 was scavenger mining, which was a little, I guess it was just like mining the Midnight token. And the third distribution phase, which is interesting, is the lost and found. And the reason it's interesting is because unclaimed night tokens will be made available to eligible participants who missed the initial window and exchanges claiming on users' behalf. So if you did miss the Glacier drop, there's a chance you still can get some of that allocation. And here's just the distribution of the token here. So let's have a look at some charts. So here we have the Bitcoin 4-hour chart. We can see earlier today we had quite a pump, maybe not as big as some of these other moves, but it was very quick. And the move by the altcoin market as well maybe made it seem, maybe created some more FOMO than if just Bitcoin were to move. We also kind of have these higher highs and higher lows. I guess, as I say, we are on a 4-hour chart, so it's quite zoomed in. Maybe unless you're kind of a day trader, you probably wouldn't really want to be looking at these targets. But you can see maybe if we come back down to these lows, we have a target of about 87, 88K. And if we come up to these kind of highs, there's Christmas Day, maybe 96, maybe 97K by Christmas Day. But it's not really recommended to look at the 4-hour chart. So that's so if we go to the day chart, the daily chart, I wonder sometimes if we're seeing a head and shoulders here, and if Bitcoin's going to come up to kind of maybe 107, maybe even a bit of a lower shoulder, 103, between 103 and 107K, before then dumping down into some kind of bear market. But if we do go further down before we go up, maybe we're looking at about 70, between 78 and 75K. So that's kind of the long term and short term kind of, or I guess maybe not long term, but medium term and short term Bitcoin targets that I'm looking at. Let's look at Bitcoin dominance. So this is a Bitcoin dominance chart. I'm assuming most of you kind of are aware of it. Um, it's the percentage market cap of Bitcoin in the total crypto asset class. So when this chart goes up, it means Bitcoin's outperforming altcoins, and when it goes down, it means it's underperforming, and you're better being in altcoins. Over the past couple of days, we've been kind of trending down a bit, but just a week ago we were a fair bit lower. As you can see, we did put in a higher low, and if we zoom out further, you'll see that itself was also a higher low, although it was a queer drop. And really need to point out that we're putting lower highs as well at the same time with these two spikes. Let's zoom out a bit further. The weekly. So I kind of wonder, like kind of last cycle, if we're going to get a double top here. Maybe we'll go a wee bit lower. If we compare this move maybe to here, I mean, this is all wild speculation. Maybe we'll go a bit lower and then come up and put in maybe a double top before the altcoin season. Really, a big drop here is what an altcoin season is, and I have to wonder if the 4-year cycle is intact and a bear market year is coming, then can we really have an altcoin season? I'm not sure. So here we have the Bitcoin chart again. I almost forgot. This is Bitcoin on the daily, and this marks the FOMC meetings. So the last meeting was November the 1st. We can see there was a pump before it, and on the day, a slight green candle. The day after, also green, but then we just continued with the trend down. There was no rate cut in November though, and one is predicted tomorrow. Here, the meeting before that then was September the 18th. Again, green the day before, this time red on the day, and the trend kind of was sideways at the time, but we did kind of trend down after the meeting. So that looks like it's two kind of meetings we've been trending down after, and the meeting then when they did cut rates back in July, we actually trended down the day before and then up after the meeting. So I wonder if that's the thing. We trend the opposite way the day before the meeting. So we're trending down, we cut rates, and then we trend up. We're trending up, we hold, we go down. We're trending up. I don't know. We're green, and then down. I think that was kind of the trend anyway. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And one final bonus chart for you before we go here. So it's the night token chart that was launched earlier. It started at about 11 cents. It dropped straight down to a low of about 3.5 cents, and then it's slowly been trending up since. Again, there will be a small amount of night unlocked every day to random users. So what do you think? Are you bearish or bullish on that? So this is the first video. If you like the video, please like, and if you want more, subscribe, and please comment down below if you think we're getting an altcoin season, if you're bullish on the night token, or anything else you want to say. Thanks a lot. Bye now.